A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Mamelodi Sundowns as I have a tactical feature focus of Thapelo Maseko, who has been reported then to have agreed terms with Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you have a look at it then, Thapelo Maseko is a left-footed winger who was playing for Supersport United last season, which was his breakthrough season. So it has been reported then that he could be on his way to Mamelodi Sundowns as he has agreed personal terms with the club. So on today's episode then, with regards to the tactical feature focus, we're going to have a look at Thapelo Maseko with regards to his technical ability, his skill set, and also then how would he fit in to Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you have a look at it then, like I did mention, Thapelo Maseko is a left winger and a player then who offers maximum width. And what he's very good at then is being in these 1v1 situations where then he is able then to showcase that 1v1 superiority with regards to his skill set and that qualitative superiority, where then he's able then to take his man very quick, goes on the outside, and he also delivers a very good ball into the box. Another thing then with regards to Thapelo Maseko is that he does create big chances consistently. He scored a couple of goals and he's also got a couple of assists as well. So this is a player then who does have potential with regards to being a highly efficient player within the final third with regards then to his numbers. However, when you have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns then, they play with a 4-4-2 diamond. That's the system they played with last season. So when you have a look at this system then, this system is a very narrow system which then utilizes minimum to relative width. So they do not use maximum width, whereas Thapelo Maseko is a maximum width player who has a lot of superiority within the wide channel. So when you have a look at it then, the question then does become, how does he fit into this Mamelodi Sundowns side? So because Mamelodi Sundowns then have signed a couple of wingers already, it does then suggest that they are going to look to change their system. So they going forward then with regards to in possession of the ball, I don't think that they will adopt this 4-4-2 diamond because of how narrow and how much it lacks width, and also then in relation to the type of signings they've made. They've made signings that offer maximum width and that have a lot of superiority within the wide areas. So I do think that they will change with regards to how do they look then to attack, their patterns, their movement, and also then with regards to how they look to impose themselves. So when you have a look at it then, there's multiple ways in which then a player like Thapelo Maseko could fit in and how then that could coincide with a structural change. So when you have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns then, so like I did mention, they did play with the 4-4-2 diamond. So even in possession, what you would see from this Mamelodi Sundowns side is a left side tilt where you'd have an overload and a left side bias of a lot of the players being on the left side. You'd see the same thing on the right hand side. However, because I do think that they will change in possession, what could they look like? So we'll look at a couple of different systems that they could look to use and that would then get the best out of a player like Thapelo Maseko. So when you have a look at it then, they could then go to a 4-3-3, because then what this allows then is that it allows Thapelo Maseko to start then within his favored left wide channel with regards to then how he looks to impose himself. So this is one way then that they could look to utilize him. Of course, this is a player then that can also be developed, as he is still a very young player. He could still be developed into other roles and being able to occupy different pockets of space on the football pitch. But when you look at his skill set, this is a player that I don't think that should be converted into a player that occupies much more central pockets of space, but a player which is utilized within the left wide channel because of how quick he is. He can also come off the right hand side where he plays an inverted winger where he's looking to come onto that left, but he's most dangerous coming off the left hand side. So this is one way they could do it with regards to how Thapelo Maseko could fit in. Or what you could see then is Mamelodi Sundowns then playing a back three. So a back three then would be sort of a situational back three. So maybe not a back three to start with. So to start with regards to their out of possession shape. It could be a 4-4-2 diamond, and then they arrive to a back three with regards to them having the ball then within first phase, second phase, and even then within the final third. So, for example, you could have Maseko starting as the sort of the left-sided striker in that regard, and then as the play develops, what you could see then from this Mamelodi Sundowns with regards to them being able to form then their back three, you could see Thapelo Maseko going wide. Then you'd have Peter Shalulile going there. And then what you could see then is one of the other players then offering the width. Then you could see sort of this situation where then they can go to a 3 diamond 3, or they could then go to a 3 box 3. So what you would see then is that Thapelo Maseko then would still be able then to ensure that he can then utilize his superiority within this left wide channel as a left winger, where then they are able to get the best out of him in possession of the ball. Out of possession, then it would go to a 4-4-2 diamond, where maybe it'd start as the left-sided striker, and then they would arrive to this situation where then they've got a 3 box 3, or if you look at it, it can also be a 3 diamond 3 if you look at it from that regard, or you can also look at it then as a 3-2-5 offensive scheme with regards to what they would look like in possession of the ball. However, the season hasn't started yet, and it does remain to be seen with regards to how Mamelodi Sundowns will go about things. But by the looks of things, with regards to the number of wingers and wide players that offer maximum width, I do think that there will be a structural change with regards to what do they look like when it comes then to having the ball, and what they look like in possession, and how then they look to impose themselves, especially considering then the number of wide players that they've signed. So at home, do let me know then, what do you make of this signing in Thapelo Maseko? Do you think then that he would be a good signing for Mamelodi Sundowns, or do you feel that this is a player then that maybe then should have been allowed then to explore other options, especially considering then that there was also overseas interest as well for a player like Thapelo Maseko? But one of the things then that I do like about Thapelo Maseko signing then for Mamelodi Sundowns and still being within the local scene is that he's got very good sell-on value. So what do I mean by that? Because of his age, and also considering the type of play he is, as much as that he might be going to Mamelodi Sundowns, but he can still go to Europe because there's time on his side. He's a very young player. He can still develop, and also considering then that Mamelodi Sundowns do play then CAF Champions League football regularly. They are a side that progress to the latter stages of CAF Champions League. So this is a player then that can showcase his talent and skill on a bigger stage, and also then being surrounded by a better quality of players, and also then being able to ensure that he can improve those numbers especially, and go on then to become a very, very good player. He is also then a part of the national team as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.